Back to our phone caller, Cynthia next, listening in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Hi, Cynthia.
Good afternoon, Hank. Thanks for taking my call. I'll ask you a couple questions, then take it off the air if I could.
Sure.
I'm feeling kind of confused, and I just respect your direction on interpreting some scripture in regards to divorce and marriage. What does it actually mean to be married to an unbeliever in scripture where it says, and if he wants to go, let him go? And is being married, if you have two people that have a Catholic background, as my husband and I do, and we're born-again Christians, is being Catholic and Christian considered to be unequally yoked? If my husband is saying that he realizes we didn't get married in the Catholic Church, and now he's saying that if we didn't get married in the Catholic Church, then God didn't recognize our marriage. And I'm wondering what you think about that comment, and if you could just direct me on how, as a wife, I can even pray in a situation like this, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, well, a couple of things that I'd like to say off the bat is an article that we did in the Christian Research Journal on divorce and remarriage. Hang on, we'll send that out to you. But to say that because you're not married in the Catholic Church, God did not recognize your marriage is a big cop-out. God recognizes your marriage when you stand before God and man and you say that you are committed to nurture and care for, to cherish and honor in sickness and in health until death do you part, and now say, well, it wasn't a Catholic Church and therefore God doesn't recognize it, etc. That's just a cop-out. And I think all too often that's the problem. We're looking for cop-outs so that we can pursue what we think is greener on the other side of the fence, and usually turns out to be dead. God puts two people together that are very, very different. And if both of you are exactly the same, one of you would be unnecessary. And the two different people rub the rough edges off one another in the process of life. So we get divorced for every and any reason, and it is because of the hardness of our hearts, precisely as delineated by Jesus Christ himself. Unequally yoked is not about Catholic or Protestant. It is about Christian, non-Christian. Christians hold to essential Christian doctrine, the very doctrines for which the martyrs shed their blood. And if one is contemplating getting married, they ought to marry a believer if they themselves are believers. And if believers contemplate marriage, they should contemplate marriage to other believers. Reason is, otherwise, you are going to go in two different directions in your marriage, the spiritual aspect of your marriage permeating every other aspect of your marriage. And that's not a good thing. And so the practical advice of Scripture is do not do it. But once you're married, if the unbeliever wants to leave the relationship, you want to do everything you can to work towards reconciliation. But if they leave that relationship and close the door to reconciliation by getting married to someone else or maybe even dying, you're not bound in that situation. That's what the meaning of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 is. But again, all of this is laid out in a journal article you can get online at equip.org.